Who are the coolest dudes on the planet?
United States veterans.
What's the coolest sport on the planet?
Pro wrestling.
And what would be the coolest podcast on the planet? That would be this one.
U.S. military vets talking pro wrestling.
This is the No Shave Man Cave. Two badass disabled vets sharing their love of pro wrestling, giving you their perspective as fans, talking about current events and matches, history of titles, and who knows what else. Let's do it.
Welcome to the No Shave Men Cave. Now your hosts, Ellie Jair and Jay Tilley.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave Chat in the Cave edition with Ellie Jair
and Jay Tilley.
Hey man, what's good? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you been?
Good. Just been getting the house cleaned up, messing around in the garage. We talked about a couple of the shows that we watched, and they kind of happened, and that's the gist of it.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about that as far as reviews go, but didn't want to go too long. Did want to cover some of the rumors and other things going on in wrestling, though. Who knows where this is? Just chat in the cave. We'll probably end up circling around to some football or whatever else might be going on. But I did want to touch on the ESPN deal with AEW a little bit.
Man,
I know it's
just wow.
Yeah, I know it's just a foreign thing right now, but the implications of that are so massive, and I don't think people realize what that. So one of the things to look at is ESPN is owned by Disney. If Disney is really going to buy WWE, would they just partnered up with AEW? And that's one of those things to think about, like, oh. And the other things to look at is with ESPN, yes, it's the beginning part. You've got all the rights around the corner. What does that mean for the buy-in rights, the TV rights that AEW is going to go? Are they going to switch over and go to Disney? Are you looking at Disney for a streaming service? Are you looking at ESPN Plus for streaming? HBO Max? Like, there's so many implications that little press thing came out, and I'm going, people don't realize how kind of big this is.
And you figure the global reach that ESPN and Disney have and all of their subsidiaries is massive. I mean, you can't even calculate the amount of homes and individuals that they're going to be able to touch, whether it's with an app or through the various cable services.
Yep.
Kudos to them, what they were able to do, especially if they can take this Disney deal or ESPN deal.
It's ESPN. I mean, Disney's parent company, but ESPN.
So they can take that. Then they've got the TNT TBS deal, and then they've got the Paramount Plus deal coming up.
Yep.
I mean, they're everywhere. They're covering everything. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think a streaming service with the AEW, especially if they incorporate it with Ring of Honor, so you get them both, would just be amazing. That library, just the Ring of Honor library alone, is amazing. And matter of fact, I need to sign up for the Honor Club because there's some stuff on there I want to go back and watch. Some of the CM Punk Samoa Joe feuds, the Briscoe brothers and the Elite, and when the Young Bucks and the Briscoes went at it. There's so much that I want to go back through and like remember how much I enjoyed Ring of Honor with. So might have to do that and check that out for sure.
I remember watching Ring of Honor, and I would catch a match here or there, whether it was on YouTube or every now and then you might be able to catch it on like a random Wednesday.
Yeah.
When I was working those weird Cycle Zero shifts, I'd get home at 6 in the morning or 6 at night, depending on what had happened at work. And you'd be like, oh, cool. Hey, look, there's Tyler Black, or look, there's whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for what is in store. Such a bright future. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a really good time to be a wrestling fan or to get into wrestling. I think there's a lot of jumping on points right now that you can jump onto and enjoy the ride. I believe there's good stuff coming forward. I just got done with a Twitter debate, let's say, about best heel, Roman Reigns or MJF, and I'm like, MJF hands down. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
because to me to be a great heel, everybody has to hate you, and Roman Reigns gets cheered, and yes, people cheer MJF for a little bit, and then they boo the hell out of him because he talks about killing his girlfriend and putting her in the driving seat. But I just think hands down, he's such an old school heel. You haven't seen him go on the Tonight Show and be jovial and laughing. It's MJF is MJF is MJF everywhere he's at. And I think to me that's what makes him the top heel. So as someone who's been into wrestling for a long time, that's one of those things that I appreciate with him, and love the fact that he's old school. And again, like I said, for somebody jumping on, there's no question that you're supposed to boo this guy. You come in, you boo him. Whereas Roman Reigns, you can come in and go, he's cool, he's got charisma, he's funny lines, and I could see cheering him for some things. But
Right.
yeah,
he's got the whole, St. Augustine, acknowledge me, and everybody.
Yeah, everybody loves him.
He's got the number one selling merch. I think he's got like the top 5 shirts.
Yep.
Right now, and it's infectious. The attachment to the bloodline, but like you said, like he's living. MJF is living that character, whereas Roman Reigns is being a character until the WWE wants to roll him out as the ambassador of a product.
Right.
So.
Right, and in MJF's defense, it's a lot harder nowadays. So back in the day, you hear the stories of the heels were heels, and then they'd get in a car and go somewhere. But then you hear the stories of getting pulled over and they get in trouble because they were caught in the same car together. What was that? Ric Flair and I can't remember who it was.
Ric Flair got caught with Nikita Koloff, I think.
That's right.
And then it was Iron Sheik and Sergeant Slaughter.
Yep,
were
that was
caught
the other one I
in
was
the car
thinking.
Together. And, there's some back road in, Greensboro, North Carolina. And they're like, oh, my goodness. And they let him go. But then they still end up telling the story.
Right.
You're like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't think since RVD and the Sandman, or not Sandman, but
Sabu
have, I think since then it's sort of started to regress as far as not letting people behind the curtain because of social media.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's killed a little bit of magic, which is what's impressive with MJF is he keeps it. Like he is a scumbag, Twitter, everything like that. Every once in a while he'll crack a little bit here and there, but he's pretty good at recovering it and making it look like he cracked on purpose or whatever the case is. So
right,
and that's it was an interesting discussion because I can't think of anybody in the business right now that's doing the heel work he's doing.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's to the point where he even has his parents come on radio shows and talk about how big of a dirtbag he is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like when you can get your parents to go on and talk about how horrible of a person you are, that's good stuff.
I mean, I'm not doing that, Mom. I just need you.
Just call me an asshole. It's cool.
Yeah, just one time.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he's as big of a filth bag as he appears on TV.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, the whole War for 24 he keeps talking about. I just don't think he would be as good in WWE. He's not going to have the freedom to say the stuff he says. They're going to end up making or wanting him to be the poster child eventually. I may be wrong. They may get it. He may get there and just destroy it. But I don't think he'd be as happy. That's, could be partially the WWE bias on me or the AEW bias on me, but I just don't see him going somewhere like there and having as good of a time as he's having now.
Right. Yeah. And especially, like you said, if he's not happy, it's going to come out in his product.
Right.
And it'd be, if it was short lived at best and, you're just getting a shadow of MJF. I mean, I'd just assume him stay in AEW and participate in some Forbidden War or Forbidden Door type events. So
yeah, I mean, and he doesn't. He's known for not putting his bump card up too high. So going in WWE, he's not gonna be able to do that. He'll be fighting every night. So now whether that's part of a character choice or if he really does like to try to keep his bump card down, but he definitely it definitely doesn't wrestle. What was that first time in 89 days? I think they said he wrestled on Dynamite just recently. So
Yeah.
he definitely, which is
Yeah.
great because that totally builds into the story they're building too, which is fun.
Right. Yeah, with that 60-hour match, 60-minute
Minute, yeah.
man. Jeez. And then you had the like back to the MGF thing. I think he had 8 or 9 matches in 2022. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's essentially, taking a year off.
Yep.
And granted, he came back in phenomenal condition, but he probably had to get back in ring shape.
Right.
And if he's only going to go every 90 days, that's gonna be difficult to maintain. Being as sharp as some of the AEW folks are, because they're doing 3 tapings a week, and they're most of them are participating in some of the indie
WWE,
shows.
you mean?
No, AEW.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how with MJF, if
Gotcha.
he's only going to wrestle, every 90 days or whatever, and you've got these AEW guys going. They're doing 3 tapings with the Wednesday, Friday, and then they have the dark elevation.
Yeah, well, I think tape's Tuesday.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I mean, if MJF's only going, I don't think he would. I think he would do, like, if he keeps up at this current rate, he'll do like 1 show and then a pay-per-view.
Yep.
And it's like, man, that's frustrating. Not seeing your champion. So
yeah, although he's on every show, he just doesn't get in the ring much.
Right. Yeah.
But I can't wait for that 60-minute Iron Man match with Danielson. That thing is gonna be bonkers.
That's gonna be because Daniel is gonna have to sell the shoulder, and that's gonna be that's gonna be tough. And that title, the refurbished
Burberry
title,
yeah, the one MJF came out with this little matches scarf.
When he was sitting there holding it and talking and being a super dirtbag in the interview, the reflection from not just the belt but from the fabric.
Yep.
That made the whole optic of what the world title is. It's almost like not to put too much glory on it, but it's like the Holy Grail. Like,
it was nice.
That was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yep. So other rumors and roundup going on. So Jay White lost the loser leave Japan match last night. So I'm curious where he's going to pop in. We talked a little bit about it on the review just now, but I'm not sure. It's funny because we'll say AEW fans and marks are, he's coming to AEW. WWE fans and marks are, he's coming to WWE. And even to the point where the superstars on both sides are talking about how he's coming. You've got the WWE guys posting Twitter feeds and stuff like that, and then you've got the AEW guys talking about their respect and lineage for him, or background with him. So I'm curious to see where he's gonna show up.
Yeah, the world is his oyster, and if he goes to AEW, it sort of makes sense because he'll have a little bit of freedom. They'll sort of be able to build a sort of a new revised Bullet Club.
Yep.
If he goes to the WWE, he could have a decent program with AJ Styles and the OC. He would have some phenomenal matches with Ricochet, and sort of put a different spin on him because you don't really hear him talk very much.
Yep.
And
so I'll tell you where I want him to go. This is going to surprise you. I want him to go to WWE.
What?
Yeah. What I would love to see happen is I'd love to see Cody win at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Lights go out, come on, and here comes Switchblade. Because immediately you've got a very good heel. So with what we talked about on the review show with Roman wanting to take time off and leave, there's not really that top heel spot right now. You could bring Jay White in immediately, and he and Cody have a history together from the Bullet Club, and you got a story built. And if he goes there, it would be an automatic, boom, we got our top heel. We've got a code for a nice, good feud with Cody. You start tying in some of the Balor stuff and the Bullet Club or the Judgment Day, and now you've got a pretty solid storyline going immediately, right into WrestleMania. Or the Monday after WrestleMania, he comes out. I think he'd be great in AEW. I think he'd do good stuff there. But I think as far as initial, like he could jump right in full time, be a main eventer, I think WWE's where to go right now.
Yeah, he would be instantly made now that you're mentioning like all of the connection. I probably would have him show up on Monday after WrestleMania just to give Cody that moment and let it all soak in and let the fans go bonkers for a little bit. Man, I didn't even think of the heel part of it because Roman is going to leave such a huge void.
Yep.
Kind of like what Cody did when he left AEW. Because there still really isn't a huge face over there in AEW. Nope. And man, that's a good one. You know what? I have to agree with you. That's a good.
Yeah. I think if I was Papa H, I'd be throwing money at him, and I'd get him in there for the Monday after WrestleMania, and I'd have him be the first challenger for Cody. You run that feud all the way out to SummerSlam if you wanted to, because they could do some great matches.
Right.
So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's where I would go.
Because you'd have to tell the story of who Jay is.
Yep.
Then you'd have to build him up. Meanwhile, Cody's on this rampage as world champion. And man, that'd be a good summer, great story through summer.
Yep.
And man, that's awesome. And then maybe around that time, Roman comes back. Maybe they haven't separated the titles by then, or he tries to come back and rebuild the Samoan dynasty. Maybe The Rock is available by then, and he has some kind of program. Why would you waste that for SummerSlam?
No, I've heard The Rock said something about next WrestleMania. He wants to go next WrestleMania, the one in Philly. So he's like making time, and so I'm like, cool, we'll be there.
Yeah, and no kidding. The plus that would, because he's going to have the XFL launching here in a couple weeks. So, man, the way you laid that out, that's really interesting. I was thinking more it would make sense for him to go to AEW because he would have a little more freedom, and there'd still be that connection with New Japan.
Yeah.
So he could still have a match here or there. Go over when Omega defends the United States title.
Yeah.
Or maybe he ends up winning the United States title from Omega in the story or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think AEW he'd be great there. He'd be a good fit. But I just think his style of matches and I think it'd be the good heel pop he would get rolling right in there to take on Cody right off the bat would be really good. It would be worth the money they pay for him.
Whew. Yeah, absolutely. They laid out his lineage, how he was the heavyweight champion, Intercontinental, the United States.
Yep.
Won the IWGP. I think he's been a tag team champion a couple of times.
I think so, yeah.
And just like how crisp he is. And now he's not like the Sammy Guevara smooth, like when he does that kick up kind of a thing. But he's just shy of Randy Orton as far as like no wasted movement.
Exactly.
On the mic, and I'm trying to think like who would be in his faction.
He might not even have one. He can come out and not have anybody, or he comes out.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, now I'm like super programmed into champions need to have factions, but
or if you want to, you have him come out and the Good Brothers come with him because now you've got the Bullet Club connection with them.
Yeah,
he was good friends with AJ. You could pull AJ when AJ gets healed up, come back in as a heel. So there's a lot he could do in WWE. I think that would be worth him.
Yeah,
him going there.
Man, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I also heard allegedly that Mandy Rose is very interested in coming back into professional wrestling, and a couple of bigwigs. I'm not sure if it was Triple H or not, but a couple of executives from multiple wrestling organizations have reached out to her. And the WWE is very, very controlling with their wrestlers. So the fact that they would make her close down her channel, that may be one of her bargaining tools to get back onto WWE television. So
Yeah, I was reading one article. I want to say it was Wrestling Inc. or one of those, and they were talking about how now she's leaning towards AEW and to joining that faction with Saraya and Tony Storm as the outsiders or whatever they're calling themselves. I'm like, well, that would be a cool fit. That would be somebody to come out and make a big pop. Since you couldn't get Mercedes Moné, you can get her to come and making a pop, and now you've got another person in that stable.
Yeah, that'd be a good. She'd be a good fit over there. As much as she's grown, I'm sure that would hurt the non-professional feelings in WWE just because they rebuilt her from the ground up, and she was like, "Well, I'd rather be a millionaire than make 150 or how much ever she was making." Plus, Toxic Attraction, all their merch was selling pretty good. But if she's like, "Hey, I'm doing better on this one.com site," hey, more power to her.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I just heard that the former TNA champion Peraza, I can't think of her first name. Yeah, I think her contract's up here shortly, and her and Britt Baker are good friends. So now you can bring her into AEW too, and now you've got Britt, Jamie Hayter, and Deanna versus I mean, there's some interesting contracts coming up that could turn out to be some really good female talent they could pick up and help either AEW or WWE.
Right. Yeah,
I'd like them to go to AEW because I think both of them would be very good in AEW.
Yeah, Deanna spent a little bit of time in WWE. Was the Maestro was her character. Had a couple of matches, spent a cup of coffee over there, and then went on the independent scene, went on to win a couple of world titles since then. So I don't know if I think WWE would be more likely to throw a little more money at her, but
probably
the professional in her probably would prefer to go to AEW vice WWE because of the, I guess, security maybe. You know, she knows that she'll be treated a lot better.
Well, she's very close with a lot of the people in there.
Yeah.
So that'd be, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd like to see the fine print on what they offered Chelsea Green to come
for real.
over, because the way she's being booked it doesn't really make sense, and unless all of a sudden it's going to make sense. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And I wonder if that's going to influence some of what Matt Cardona is going to do.
Right.
Or if that's one of the reasons he dropped the trademark is they're like, all right, we're just going to treat your wife like shit until you stop trying to sue us for your trademark. Not that they're going to do that, but I'm just saying, like, it makes you wonder, though, because the rumor was he was going to come. There were so many rumors going into Royal Rumble. Matt Cardona, Jay White,
Nick Aldis.
Yeah, there were so many people. I think Nick Aldis is going to show up in TNA. I think he's going to be the one they go after Bully Ray because of the stuff going on with Mickie James.
Okay. Yeah,
and I don't even follow TNA that much. I just watched a couple clips and was like, hey, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Why not bring Nick Aldis in?
A lot of sense. Yeah, that would settle it up, and Bully and him have a pleasant rivalry based on their nationalities. Bully is Italian, and they go back and forth with soccer a lot. So that'd be interesting. Plus the way Bully's been treating Mickie James.
Exactly, and that's what made me think of it is like, I could see them totally setting this up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be a good go. Oof, man. Yeah. Also heard. Unfortunately, Orton is nowhere close to returning. So I heard that. That's a huge bummer. And he had surgery. He had a L4-5 fusion, which is like your lower spine right above your tailbone. Had a fusion, and he's rehabbing. No known time when he's going to return. So that was a bummer. I was hoping to see him back in the ring soon. So
yeah, it stinks. Back injuries are no joke, though.
Yeah, that sucks.
All right, man. Well,
So-
we wanted to hit record and just talk some rumors and gossip, and we did that.
Right on, right on.
We could roll into some other stuff, but I think this would be a good rumors episode to put out there. And then if we want to hit another one, we can do some more stuff going on. But Jared and I talk a lot of wrestling all the time, so we try to hit record when we can. We finished up our reviews and I'm like, man, let's talk about some more of the rumor stuff and let's hit record. So that's what we did. So that's what you got just now.
Right on.
So-
Well, hey, thanks, Jay Tilly. I'm Ellie Jair.
Jay Tilly.
Thanks for joining us here in the Candid Conversation Cave. We'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you on the floor.
You've been listening to the No Shave Men Cave.
If it's pro wrestling, we're talking about it. Unless we see something shiny and wander off into the woods. If you hang around long enough, we'll eventually come back. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Fire off your comments and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at No Shave Men Cave. Y'all be cool. And we'll see you next time on the floor.